Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Bomb TV with Dr. Tanoa Hampton, where we're restoring health and healing by being transformed from the inside out. What a marvelous Monday morning it is. I pray that each and every one of you had an absolute great time this weekend, that you had time with family, time with friends, time away with God, time to refresh, restore, and renew. And so I am honored to serve you this morning. I'll give a few minutes, not a few minutes, maybe one or two, for people to hop on and join me for this live. Again, I don't plan to be before you long. I just want to give you just a little tidbit for you to take on your journey as we connect our faith with health. And this morning, I am so honored to talk to you about focus. Focus. Over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about vision, we talked about submission. And so this morning, I want to talk to you about ferocious focus, because in this season of your life, it's going to take ferocious focus because there's so many things that are here that are occurring in our world that is taking our focus from the things that God has given us to do on to other things that have caused distraction. So in this season, it is going to take a ferocious focus. And so just going to give a couple of more minutes just for people to hop on. Let's see if I can see what's happening over on Facebook. I see that I have a couple of people. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for taking your time to join me this morning. But it's now 7:02, and I want to go ahead and get started with you. So our scripture this morning comes out of Nehemiah 12:16. And so many times we hear the story of Nehemiah and how he had the courage to go before the king because he was given that desire to rebuild the wall. And so many of us in our lives have been given desires to complete certain things that have really caused us to be angry. So therefore, we decided to seek God for an answer and how you can be an answer. So while we're all preparing to show up at someone's answer, there's some things that we're going to need in this season. And one of them is ferocious focus. Again, in this season, if you're going to accomplish that vision, that dream, that purpose that you said God is giving you, it's going to take a ferocious focus. And so I'm going to read real fast for you Nehemiah 12 through 16. And we're going to just dive into it and really talk about how focus is necessary in every area of your health. Every area of your health, because yesterday was August the 1st. And if I judge by my timeline, many people have set new goals, new visions for this month, new proclamations that they expect to accomplish, but you will not be able to accomplish them if you're not focused. And so, again, I'm just going to read real fast through Nehemiah 2:12 through 16. And then it says, and this is the New Living Translation. It says, I went to Jerusalem, and after staying there 3 days, I set out during the night with a few others. I had not told anyone what my God had put in my heart to do for Jerusalem. There were no mounds with me except the one I was riding. And so a mound is a horse, a donkey. By night, I went out through the valley gate towards the jackal well and dung gate, examining the walls of Jerusalem, which had been broken down, and its gates, which had been destroyed by fire. Then I moved toward the fountain gate and the king's pool, but there was not enough room for my mound to get through. So I went up the valley by night, examining the wall. And finally, I turned back and re-entered through the valley gate. The officials did not know where I had gone or what I was doing, because as I said, as I because as yet I had said nothing to the Jews or the priests or the nobles or the officials or any others who would be doing the work. By God. So here's Nehemiah. We know that he had a burning desire to rebuild this wall. But before he got started, he had to examine the land. He had to examine what needed to be done. He had to go out and survey to see what's going on. Assessment, right? He assessed the land before he took on his new project. And I think what was key there in verse 16, he says very clearly that the officials did not know where I had gone or what I was doing, because as yet I had said nothing to the Jews or the priests or the nobles or the officials or any others who would be doing the work. When God gives you something to do, you must assess. Assess the landscape, assess what you're going to need to do. So that's time management, that's project management, that's determining your resources, your time, your talent. What is it going to take to get this job done? But in this season, before you share with everyone else this thing that you said God has told you to do, he asks that you take a moment and close your mouth and not announce to those who will be helping you, because there will be those who will be helping you. Don't announce it prematurely. So in this season, before you jump out to any new project, follow Nehemiah's example and plan ahead. And that all starts with an assessment. Regardless of what you feel like you're called to do or chosen to do an assessment, plan ahead. And so it's funny, I've had this last couple of weeks to really reflect on this space of saying I gave God my yes. And I'm coming to you and you are walking through this with me, because I think it's important that we understand when we said that we're giving God our yes, and we said that we're going to do these things for our community, for our families, for our homes, for ourselves. I think it's very important that we take time to assess what's necessary. So we're connecting this planning, right, to our health. So if you're going to take care of your weight this month, right, and this is what you're planning to do, you got to assess what you're doing and not doing. You got to look out to see how can you effectively plan, meal planning, exercise planning, time management. How are you going to get all of those things done related to your eating habit, exercise routine, and still get your other work done? And many of us jump out there and start telling everybody, announcing, this is what I'm going to do, without planning. So in this season, as you begin to go and do what we believe God has given us to do, we must have focus, but you don't know what to focus on if you have not assessed the situation. You must assess the situation. So last week, I had the opportunity to just sit in God's presence. And so, having been a nurse for over 27 years and a mother just that long as well, I really haven't taken the time to sit in God's presence. I really hadn't taken the time to sit down and truly plan much of anything. Some half-hearted plans, kind of quick, get it quick, because I'm a shortcut girl. I like the shortcuts. And many of you probably like the shortcuts because you want to get there really, really fast. And we've all been taught in elementary school, at least when we were younger, the shortest distance to any place is a straight line. So we're looking for the straight line to our purpose, our destiny, our goal. But we fail to understand that the Creator, God, knows better. He says in Jeremiah 29:11, we all quote it, that He knows the plans that He has for you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Well, what if in those plans there's a detour because behind on the route that's the straightest, say it's a door, and you're trying to get in the house, and you really need to get to the kitchen that's in the back of the house. Think about that. You think you would go through the front door, open the door, walk through the front door, and you're going to get to the back door. But what if there's something blocking your way behind the front door? Then what do you do? Where do you go? Do you still go through the front door? Because there's obstacles there. There's challenges there. There's something to impede you from getting to your purpose. Same with our health. We want to lose the weight, but if we haven't gone and had our medical exam, and there's a medical reason why you're having difficulty losing weight, or there's a diagnosis that you need to understand better, rather it be hypothyroidism or diabetes, there's a purpose, there's something there that will possibly impede you from getting to your goal if you don't understand what's on the path. And the quickest way to your weight loss may be around the yard and in the back door. So it is going to be important that you plan ahead, just as Nehemiah did. And then you want to check, right, your information that you have set up with your ideals to make sure they'll work, that they're realistic. So wanting to lose 25 pounds in 1 month may not be realistic. So though God has shown you that you will lose the weight and you'll be healthier, though he showed you that you're going to accomplish this goal and you're going to own your own business, he may say, this person is your husband, your wife, but there's some work that you must do. And you must be realistic about what those things are that God has given you to do, because it will be impossible to accomplish these goals if, in fact, they're your goals and you haven't sought the Father and they're not realistic. When challenges come and they don't work out like you think they should, you may become discouraged. So how many of you have become discouraged along your journey? And I'll use weight loss since that's, one that's pretty common to many people, or your health, that you thought that you were going to lose that 25 pounds to get in that dress by the end of the month for your high school reunion, or for that special birthday party, fit at 50, right? Because I'm coming up on 50 really soon and I want to be fit at 50. And I think that I'm going to lose 25 pounds a month before then. Is that realistic? Do I have that ability? So I have to assess the situation. You have to assess the situation. And even then, once you check your information to make sure that the ideals that you have are realistic, you're going to check that with Father, right? Because he is the one that is able to assist you. He is the one that is able to assist you. And so I think that it's vitally important that before you jump out there, that you take that time. Don't make a premature announcement to the world, right? Because when you make that premature announcement to the world, right, there's your rivalry, which is inside yourself sometimes. There's others who are going to say different things that may not line up with your goal and your focus. And you might get that unsolicited advice from others about how to move forward, right? So do we want that unsolicited advice from others about how to move forward? No, we don't. We don't need that in this moment while you're planning, while you're trying to stay focused, right? Because there may be people who will assist you in your vision to build your dream, to build your business, to move forward in ministry. But you must seek God's instructions through prayer, right? So now you have this thing that has caused righteous indignation in you, and you believe that you are the answer for someone's problem or the answer for your own problem. You believe that God is giving you a solution. You've assessed to make sure that your ideas are realistic, but you then have to seek God for the instructions of how to carry it out. because again, he is the owner of your blueprint. He created you. He is the creator. And it's so awesome to know that he cares enough about you that he's willing to share the plan with you. And then you want to write the plan according to his instructions, right? So he's going to give you instructions and you have to write them down. We often um, kind of avoid writing things down. We think we're going to remember it in our head, and so I'm really famous for that. I love to kind of have all of these ideals and all of these plans that I believe God has given me to do, and never write them down. And then at a moment's notice, are trying to recall the details, but you can't recall the details sometimes. So it's imperative that you write the plan down according to God's instruction. And the plan doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take these long planning sessions, right? Because sometimes we think, oh my God, I'm going to sit, like I've done many times, like I'm going to the water because I want to hear God and I just want to sit in the peace. And I'm thinking that I'm going to sit there for very long periods of time. And really, it doesn't take long periods of time. It really does take a connection with God and a daily connection with him. As you stay in the Father's presence, seek his face daily for your life, because we're working out our soul salvation daily, daily, daily understanding that this life is unto death. And at death, where will you reside? Where will your spirit, where will you end up? And it's not in your perfection. So you're not going to do it perfectly every day. So every day you have to go to the Father. Every day you have to ask him for forgiveness. Every day ask him to renew your mind, renew your spirit, creating you the right spirit, creating you a mind of Christ so that you will align your plans, your ideals, your goals with his plans, ideals, and goals, because he's a good father and he loves you. And it doesn't always take these long planning sessions. And so what we know is that in Habakkuk 2:2, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon the tablets. Then he may run who reads it, right? You have to write it down, but write it down in such a simplistic way, step by step. I'll wake up each morning. I'll pray. I'll meditate on my word. I'll have a large glass of water, right? Flush my system. I will have my breakfast. I will work out for 30 minutes. I will shower. I will prepare for my work day. I will follow the list of things I have to do in my work day. God, show me what I need to do in my workday to be most effective, to be most productive. And so that's rather you work for someone else or yourself. But write the vision, make it plain so that you may run with it, that you can go with it, that you'll know what to do. It's like having a GPS. So GPS, God's positioning system on board as you write the plan. Back in the day, we used maps and we had to sometimes write the direction down so we could drive. And so we say, turn right on Copper Beach, turn left on Bishop Stone Terrace, right? Those are the things we had to write down. I encourage us to go back to some basic methods. Yes, rather you write it in your electronic devices, record it in your electronic devices, but make record of it so that you can quickly go back to it and see the plans that God has for you. And once God confirms that plan, then you can share the plan. Share your vision with enthusiasm, trusting that God will bring others to help you, right? That share that same vision. Because know this, there are not many things that we do without the assistance of others. Not that they get the glory. God gets the glory because he's the source. And anything and anyone that he sends your way is just a resource. But after you confirm those plans with him, after you've written them down, then you can share with enthusiasm, just like Nehemiah did. right? He had to gather all of the people, all of the Israelites who had been scattered, right, because of their disobedience. And even though they would be a part of the plan, the priests would be a part of the plan, the government officials would be part of the plan, right? The people in the regions would be a part of the plan to bring it to pass. And oh my God, they did it in 52 days. 52 days they rebuilt the wall. But it was because he had a clear plan and he did not share it, not even with those who were involved, until it was confirmed. And then he could share the plan with confidence, understanding what needed to be done. That is what a true leader does. They don't just look at today for the plan, they use strategic foresight. They use that wisdom that's needed to look at the plan into the future, the possible implications of taking that route, what it would cause. Just like I said, going through that front door, they consider the fact that behind the front door may be the ferocious dog that's there at the neighbor's house. And though you're trying to get to the person that's in the kitchen where the kitchen's on fire, the fastest route to the house, to that person may be around the house, because you'll avoid the dog that's standing at the door to prevent you from coming through. Right? So get the plan, confirm it with God, and then share it enthusiastically with those around you, because you'll be able to present your plan with confidence. With confidence, you will be able to present your plan with confidence. And so that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to present that plan to God's people, to the people that are called to help you along your way to purpose with confidence. And that includes yourself. You must be able to believe and have faith that God has given you this plan and he will bring it to pass. So keep the mission a secret, right? To avoid the unhealthy gossip and to prevent the enemy from being alert to your plan. Because no, there's an enemy of your purpose. There's an enemy of your plan. There are those who will gossip unnecessarily. And while you're building the plan, while you're trying to figure it all out, guess what? Not doing that premature announcement will prevent the discouragement that they will bring with their unhealthy gossip while you get it together to do that which God has called you to do. So again, God wants us to have ferocious, and that's really like keen tunnel vision, like this, like you got the blinders on, that you are focused so that you don't get distracted from the things that God had called you to do in this season. It's going to take prayer, number one. Prayer, time with God, so that you, one, assess yourself, bring those things to God, the areas that you need assistance with, the places that you need encouragement in. Seek God in prayer. That's the first thing that you have to do. And then in that moment, stay committed to God. Stay ferociously focused on the plan, because the opposition of the enemy will come. So we know how the story goes for Nehemiah. If we go further down in the book, we know that Sanballat and them came, and Tobias came as messengers, sending messages trying to get him to come off the wall, to come off of what his assignment was. Today, you cannot come off your assignment. You cannot be distracted. You cannot be lulled away by words from people giving you instructions to do something that's contrary to what God says. Stay focused. Don't turn to your left nor to your right. Do not even take time to step away to talk to them when he's giving you something to do. When God has given you something to do, you've written the vision, you've made it plain, stay focused. Avoid the distractions. Avoid the comparison on Facebook. Avoid the comparison of your girlfriend and where they are. Avoid looking at all of these things over here that have nothing to do with your purpose and planning, even if they're good ideas, even if they're good things for someone else. If that is not a part of God's plan for you, do not look to the left or to the right. Stay straight ahead. Look focused, because In going in to survey the land, you may not even be able to ride your horse. You may have to get out on foot to do the work. You may, just as Nehemiah have to do, set up a plan that people continue to do the work while ready for battle, right? So focused on the task, but yet ready for the battle. So you got to you can't do that if you all over the place. If you're listening to Sam Ballard and I'm saying, come down and meet me at the temple. What? He wasn't allowed to go in the temple. There's places that you're not allowed to go, even though it's a good place. Stay in your territory doing the work that God is giving you to do in every area of your life. If he has you working on your finances, work on your finances. Yeah, they're having a retreat. Yep, they're having another conference. And if he doesn't tell you to go, don't go. Do not take those resources to do something else that he didn't tell you to do. He told you to get out of debt, so get out of debt. But if he tells you to go because he needs to minister to your spirit, your spiritual health, your emotional health, then you go. He's already calculated that in the plan, remember? Because we sought him for the plan. We talked to Father for the plan. But stay focused. Stay focused and do that which God has given you to do in this season. Do that what God has given you in this season. It's vitally important that we have a ferocious focus. The enemy seeks to get you distracted. The enemy seeks to get you off course. He has you out there listening for all kinds of voices to tell you what to do, but sit still and hear the still small voice of the Lord. That is the voice that you want to follow. There are many people with many words, but make sure that you're sitting at the Father's feet in time of prayer and meditation. Take the time out. Don't do what I did for 27 years, running and gunning, doing everything, because there will come a time where you have to rest, because you can't fight while you're not well. You can't accomplish that what God has given you to do if you have not cared for yourself. You can't do it if you've not heard the voice of the Father. There's the good, perfect, and acceptable will of God. Don't we want to be in the perfect will of God? So today, let's make a commitment to have a ferocious focus on that which the Lord has given us, the vision he has given us. So what are we going to do? We're going to assess. We're going to pray. We're going to write the vision down. Once we do all of that, then we'll share enthusiastically and with confidence with those who we know, right? Who we know are attached to our purpose. And so even in that attached to our purpose, you have to understand the teamwork that God will do, the teamwork that God will bring, the people that he will bring in your life. Because as a visionary, you inspire and encourage others, and you put the team together to take action to accomplish God's goal that he placed in you. Because remember, he lives in you. And so the desires of your heart are his desires as you seek him. And so be the visionary, just as God gave the vision to Nehemiah to rebuild the wall. He could not do it alone, but God allowed him to inspire and encourage the others in the land to join him to accomplish God's goal. Will you today allow God to use you as inspiration and encouragement for others to accomplish God's goal, your plan, your purpose, that he would be glorified? I am Dr. Tanoa Hampton. This is the Bomb TV, and I thank you this week. And my prayer is, as you go through this week, that you will make time to spend time with your Father, so that he'll give you the plans for your life. And I mean in every area of your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, nutritionally, relationally, spiritually. I pray financially that you will sit with Father and ask Him each day to give you one strategy, one thing so that you can improve your health. And then I encourage you, find the scripture to go with it, to support it. And let that be what you meditate on this week. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you again next Monday at 7 a.m. Be blessed.